Clint Eastwood. People assume I've always been the one doing the intimidating. The truth? I've spent most of my life being quietly in awe of others. And when you've watched as many great actors work as I have, you start to understand something most people never figure out. Real greatness doesn't shout. It just shows up and does the job. I've been asked many times who I think the greatest actor ever was. I never liked that question. You can't reduce this craft to a ranking. Oscars don't tell the whole story. Neither do box office numbers. What I can tell you is which men genuinely changed the way I understood this profession, and why their example still stays with me today. The first is Humphrey Bogart. Long before I ever stood in front of a camera, I was watching him on screen and wondering how someone could be so completely at ease. He never pushed a scene. He never grabbed for attention. He simply trusted that stillness could be more powerful than any dramatic gesture. And he was right. Watching Bogart taught me that the strongest presence in a room is often the quietest one. I never tried to copy him. That would have been pointless. But I never forgot what he showed me. Spencer Tracy was something else entirely. There was no performance in what he did, just truth. I remember watching him listen during scenes, and that's the key word, actually listen. Most actors wait for their turn to speak. Tracy was genuinely present. He reacted. He thought. He lived inside the moment. That taught me more about acting than any formal training ever could. Cary Grant surprised people when I'd mention him on a list like this. But here's the thing. What looked effortless was anything but. That kind of consistency, that level of polish, came from enormous discipline and preparation. He never competed with a scene. He served it. In a business full of people trying to steal focus, that kind of professional restraint is something worth admiring. Then there was John Wayne. We were different kinds of actors, no question. He was direct where I preferred mystery. But what I respected deeply was that he never chased Hollywood's approval. He knew exactly who he was, and he never wavered from it. The audience sensed that authenticity and responded to it for decades. That's not luck, that's character. And finally, the name that might surprise you most, James Stewart. Jimmy had a warmth and decency on screen that came from somewhere genuine. He never forced emotion. A slight pause, a quiet look, the faintest crack in his voice. That was enough to break you. He invited the audience in, rather than performing at them. Year after year, film after film, he stayed honest. He never lost himself chasing trends. He just kept becoming more of who he already was. To me, that's the hardest and most admirable thing an actor can do. Fame fades. Awards collect dust. Records get broken. But the example these 5 men set, the discipline, the honesty, the quiet conviction, that's what endures. I didn't admire them because they were legends. I admired them because they were real. And in this business, real is the rarest thing of all. If you found something worth keeping in this, hit like and subscribe. There's plenty more where that came from.